kids. Today I want to tell you a story about a 6-year-old girl who made history. How old are you? Are you 6 years old yet? Are you 6? Are you a little bit older? Are you a little bit younger? Well, this girl made history at 6 years old, and she's still alive today, and she is still known by so many people because of what she did at age 6. Let's learn what Ruby Bridges did when she was 6 years old. Ruby made history in 1960 when at the age of 6 she became the first student to attend an all-white school in New Orleans. Although some other cities had already begun to desegregate, as was the law since the Supreme Court ruling in 1954 declared that separate but equal was in fact not equal, there were some cities where schools were still divided by color. But after an important ruling, the court ordered the schools in New Orleans to be desegregated, and Ruby was selected to be the first black student to attend William Frantz Elementary School. Every step of the way was a challenge. Long before her first day, Ruby had to take an exam even to gain admission to the school, one that was written in such a way that black students were less likely to pass. Her father feared what it might mean if she passed, but her mother pushed for Ruby to take it for the sake of a better education. Many people did not support desegregation, and on Ruby's first day, protesters surrounded the school. Ruby had to be escorted by her mother and U.S. Marshals in order to enter. She was so young it was hard for her to grasp what was going on. Many years later, she said she thought it was a Mardi Gras celebration because of the number of people out on the streets. She had no idea they were there to protest her. Once she was inside the school, the difficulties continued. White parents pulled their kids from classes, and many of the teachers refused to teach a black student. Only one person agreed to teach her, a young woman who had recently moved to Louisiana from Boston. Miss Henry became Ruby's only confidant and friend. During the fight for civil rights, Ruby became a symbol for the vulnerability all black Americans faced. Do you think anybody would ever try to stop you from going to school just because of what you look like? That's hard to imagine, isn't it? Well, it wasn't too long ago that people did that just for Ruby Bridges because she had darker skin than they did. They didn't want her to be in school with their kids. I think it's important, even though she didn't really know exactly what was going on, I think it was important for her to have the courage to go to school and to get an education. And I think it was important in her development as a child to know that she was worthy of receiving the same education as everybody else. How would you feel if you were someone who didn't get to have the same education as everybody else? If you weren't allowed to go to the school that you wanted to go to, or if teachers decided they didn't want to teach you just because of the way you looked when they walked into your class, when you walked into their classroom, that would be a pretty tough feeling, wouldn't it? I don't really think it was right that they did that and they decided they weren't going to teach her. I didn't think it was right that people didn't want her to be a part of that school, because I think that each and every child, each and every one of you, deserves the same opportunities as everybody else. So let's remember that everybody deserves the same opportunities. Ruby Bridges helps us to remember that.